What if everything we thought we knew about the Brown family was only half the story? What if the quietest voice in the room, the one who once said she couldn't do this without the other wives, was actually the one pulling the strings the whole time? What if love, unity, and sisterhood were just a cover for something much darker? Because when Christine walked away from decades of marriage, when Janelle finally drew a line in the sand, and when Mary was left on the outside looking in, what remained wasn't just Kody, it was Kody and Robyn. And for many fans watching Sister Wives, that wasn't a coincidence. It was a consequence. Hey everyone, I'm Oliva, and welcome to TLC's Sister Wives Secret, where we break down the biggest truths, the rawest moments, and the stories that never quite got their spotlight. If you've been following the chaos, the heartbreak, and the unraveling of the Brown family, then you already know. Something shifted the moment Robyn Brown joined the picture. But was it just growing pains, or a carefully constructed plan that slowly pushed the other wives to the edge? Kody once believed polygamy was his sacred calling. But over the years, we watched him evolve, from a man preaching unity to one who seemed completely consumed with protecting just one person. Robyn. And while she claims she never wanted to be the favorite, what we saw on camera tells a very different story. So today we're going deep into the real story behind the family's collapse. Was Robyn truly looking for sisterhood? Or was she positioning herself as the queen from the moment she arrived? Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below, because I want to hear your thoughts. Was Robyn misunderstood? Or was she playing the long game all along? When Robyn Brown first came into the Brown family, everything was framed like a fairy tale. She was introduced during Sister Wives Season 1 as the new, hopeful fourth wife, young, charming, eager to join the polygamist lifestyle. Kody was smitten almost instantly. And unlike the wives before her, Robyn brought a kind of romantic energy that Kody hadn't shown in years. From their early courtship, viewers could feel something was different. Robyn didn't just marry into the family, she entered with a narrative. She wasn't just another wife. She was presented as a unifying force, someone who claimed she deeply valued the sisterhood and wanted to build strong bonds with Christine, Janelle, and Mary. She talked openly about how she admired their relationships, how she respected the structure they'd built. And early on, she was especially close to Mary. In fact, Robyn told her directly, "I can't do this without you." It was a powerful moment, one that made Mary feel seen and wanted during a time when she was already struggling with her place in the family. But here's the thing. That promise, that reassurance, never materialized into long-term support or loyalty. As seasons passed, that closeness between Robyn and Mary quietly faded. The "can't do this without you" turned into long silences, passive dismissals, and eventually emotional distance. And it wasn't just Mary who felt it. Christine and Janelle started to notice shifts too. Behind the scenes, the balance of the family started to tilt. What viewers initially saw as growing pains from adding a new wife soon began to look like something much deeper. Robyn wasn't just finding her place, she was quietly becoming the center of Kody's world. And for the other wives, that created tension they couldn't ignore. From Christine feeling overlooked at family events, to Janelle noticing how decisions now required Robyn's input more than anyone else's, these small, subtle moments were the beginning of much larger fractures. The show captured it all: awkward glances, uncomfortable silences, and wives trying to pretend things were fine, when you could see on their faces that they absolutely weren't. The cracks didn't explode right away, but they were there, early and often, and they only got deeper over time. Robyn's intentions, what she said she wanted, started to look very different from what she was actually building behind the scenes. The sisterhood she promised, it never truly happened. Not because the other women didn't try, but because, slowly and quietly, Robyn began to move differently. It wasn't just a feeling anymore. It became painfully obvious. Robyn wasn't just another wife. She was the wife. And as the seasons rolled on, what had started as subtle shifts in energy turned into undeniable favoritism that even casual viewers couldn't ignore. Let's look at the timeline. Christine left the marriage in 2021. That was the beginning of the unraveling. But her decision wasn't sudden. It was years in the making. She had long felt pushed aside, emotionally starved and unseen. Her final straw? Watching Kody show up for Robyn with all the tenderness, energy, and presence he used to give all his wives, but now reserved only for one. Christine said it clearly. Kody wasn't interested in an equal partnership anymore. He was showing up for Robyn and Robyn only. By 2022, Janelle was reaching her breaking point too. And Janelle is practical. She doesn't rattle easily, but even she started to feel the shift. Kody's conversations with her turned combative, cold, defensive. Instead of trying to solve problems, he'd shut down or lash out. And it wasn't about their relationship anymore, it was about his loyalty to Robyn. Any disagreement with Janelle somehow became an attack on Robyn, and Kody made it clear he would protect her no matter what, even if it meant blowing up every other connection he had. And then came Mary, who, by early 2023, was finally out too. The woman who stood by Kody through years of emotional neglect, through the catfishing scandal, and through public humiliation. She had been clinging to the hope that things might shift back to the way they were. But Kody had stopped even pretending. His disinterest in reviving their relationship was so clear, it was almost cruel. When Mary finally walked away, it felt more like resignation than rebellion. She knew the fight was over. And that fight wasn't even about love anymore. It was about being acknowledged at all. We saw it on screen, over and over. Kody canceling plans with other wives. Kody telling Christine he wasn't in love with her anymore. Kody siding with Robyn in arguments that had nothing to do with her. And maybe the most damning sign? The tone. The warmth was gone. The fatherly patience vanished. All that remained was a version of Kody who felt angry, cornered, and obsessed with protecting one person, Robyn. Christine and Janelle both spoke about it. How he became meaner, how he shut them down instead of listening, how he would twist their words or question their loyalty anytime they disagreed. And what connected all those moments? Robyn. She wasn't always in the room, but her presence was felt. Because Kody's reactions always led back to her. That kind of emotional loyalty, the kind that abandons fairness and balance, wasn't polygamy anymore. It was monogamy disguised as plural marriage, and everyone watching could see it. It's one thing to be the favorite. It's another to act like you're not while pulling every string from behind the scenes. And that's where Robyn's role in all of this gets more complicated. Because we're not just talking about a woman who happened to be closer to Kody. We're talking about someone who, over time, has been accused, by the other wives and by viewers, of weaponizing her emotions to secure her place at the top, all while denying she ever did anything wrong. Throughout multiple seasons, and especially in the later ones, there's been a clear and repeated pattern. Robyn has a conflict, or even just a mildly uncomfortable moment, with one of the other wives. Then shortly after, Kody confronts that wife with full force. And what's always missing? The in-between. The private conversation Robyn has with Kody, where she tells him her version of the story. And every single time, it seems to trigger a chain reaction. Robyn cries, Kody gets furious, and somehow, it's Christine or Janelle or Mary who ends up at the receiving end of his rage. One of the clearest examples of this was with Christine and the personality test incident. It's a moment you wouldn't think much of on the surface. Years ago, the family took a personality quiz together. Christine casually read out Robyn's results and, according to her, explained that Robyn's personality type tends to lean into drama. It wasn't meant to be mean or even personal. It was just a readout from a fun family activity. But Robyn didn't take it that way. She felt judged, attacked, and singled out. And instead of addressing it calmly with Christine, she internalized the offense and, as we saw later, carried it with her for years. That's what Christine later pointed out. Robyn would take something small, twist it in her mind into an insult, and then pass it along to Kody as proof that the other wives were against her. And Kody? He wouldn't question it. He believed her every time, and that belief turned into hostility. Toward Christine, toward Janelle, even toward his kids. Instead of being a neutral listener and leader in his family, Kody became Robyn's defender. Not just emotionally, but fiercely, sometimes aggressively. Janelle, in her own confessionals, shared how this dynamic made everything worse. She said Kody was running interference for Robyn, getting between her and the other wives to protect Robyn from criticism. And in doing so, he created a wall between himself and everyone else. Janelle was clear. Robyn was in the middle of the dysfunction, and pretending she wasn't only made things worse. What's wild is that Robyn, in interviews, consistently denies having any special role in this mess. In her sit downs with host Sukanya Suki Krishnan, Robyn acts surprised by the accusations. When asked why Janelle or Christine might feel like she's favored, her response is often confusion. She shrugs it off, saying she doesn't know why anyone would think that. She claims to be tired of the attention, tired of being blamed, tired of hearing her name come up. But here's the thing. If you're in a plural marriage and 3 out of 4 wives walk away within 2 years, all citing the same problems, at what point do you stop pretending it's just coincidence? Robyn often presents herself as the quiet one, the peacemaker, the woman who just wanted family unity. But Christine and Janelle both called her out. They said what viewers had started to believe for a long time. Robyn may act passive, but she's anything but. She knows exactly how to present herself to Kody to get a certain reaction. She cries when needed, steps back when convenient, and lets Kody do the fighting. And in that silence, she controls everything. It's a form of emotional manipulation that looks clean from the outside. But inside the family, it has torn everything apart. ChatGPT said, Gwendolyn's engagement party should have been a beautiful, intimate moment, a celebration of love, family, and moving forward. But instead, it became another twisted example of how Robyn and Kody's presence has this way of shifting the energy from unity to tension, from joy to damage control. And the most heartbreaking part? It didn't have to be that way. On screen, viewers saw what looked like a cheerful event. Gwendolyn and her fiancé Beatrice were surrounded by family and friends. But behind the scenes, something much darker was unfolding. Kody and Robyn didn't confirm they were even attending until the day of the party. And when they did decide to show up, last minute, they brought cameras with them. That wasn't the plan. In fact, Gwendolyn had specifically said she didn't want cameras at the party. She wanted it to be private. But Kody and Robyn's arrival flipped everything. And then came the real shocker. Gwendolyn, the bride-to-be, was greeted at her own party by a producer who told her she needed to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, before stepping inside. Imagine that. Showing up to celebrate your engagement and being handed a legal document. And this wasn't just some standard filming release. It had strict clauses about what she could or couldn't say publicly. It was silencing. And it felt, according to Gwendolyn herself, like a deliberate move to stop her from speaking openly about her father and Robyn, something she had been doing more freely on her Patreon before this event. Christine's reaction was raw and real. In her confessional, she made it clear. She wasn't upset just because Kody and Robyn showed up. She was upset because of how they showed up. Without notice, with cameras, and with an agenda. Instead of being there for Gwendolyn, they were there to secure a storyline. And the moment stopped being about Gwendolyn's engagement and became about Kody meeting Christine's fiancé, David. A scene that was never supposed to happen at that event. You could see Christine trying to stay composed, but her heartbreak was all over her face. She said she felt bad. Not for herself, but for Gwendolyn. Because what was meant to be her moment, her day, ended up being hijacked for a show Kody and Robyn wanted to control. The whole atmosphere shifted. What should have been a family celebration turned into a stage. And the couple at the center of it all, Gwendolyn and Beatrice, barely got a moment to speak on camera. This wasn't about co-parenting awkwardness. This was about power, control, and erasing voices that challenged the narrative. And it left viewers and family members asking, if Robyn and Kody really cared about the kids, why did they turn such a personal milestone into a show scene? Why was Gwendolyn's voice the one being stifled at her own party?